Well. Welcome back. I'm Kael, and today we are playing Pink Noise, a new game I've barely ever heard anything about. Just one episode of it came out, and I saw it on, I think it was Steam, just randomly there. And it looked really interesting, so I was like, hey, let's get into this. Act 1. Along shady alleys. I have actually no idea what the hell this is about. Like, what's gonna happen? How do you play the game? I know nothing. Oh, this is a reading type of game. Okay. All comes to Riverwood, with chilling winds and the first drizzle, a bleak mist obscure the narrow streets clinging to the rooftop, tangling in the bushes, and swirling around the fields. Fog and murky blackness suit the peculiar suburb, nestled amid the forest and mountains. It's a decaying, quiet place, waiting for winter. As the evening wears on, the town is wrapped in thickening twilight, with only a few street lights serving as solitary island of illumination in an ocean of darkness. On one such evening, ordinary and cold, 4 teenagers are strolling around an old park, engrossed in a lively discussion. The first fallen leaves rustle underfoot as the wind reaches the trees, their branches groan out a long plaintive creak, as if already lamenting the loss of their motley attire. 2 of the teenagers, a tall boy and a fair-haired girl, walk hand in hand. Their friend carefully hops from one paved slab to the next, balancing as though a bottomless chasm might yawn open beneath them. A quiet, stooping boy in glasses trails behind him, casting glances at the road ahead. The street splits in two, then veers sharply out towards a wasteland. Just a half a century before, a tiny school stood there, now only a barely discernible foundation, and heaps of broken bricks, choked by stubborn vines, remain to remind them of its erstwhile existence. Year by year, students have taken that path, carrying with them their thoughts and fears, high hopes and grand dreams. From tough exams and first crushes to bullies' bonks on the head, or simply yearnings to be the star player of a local team. Be it aglow in autumn gold, cloaked in verdant summer green, or blanketed beneath snowdrifts, Riverwood will never forget them, just as they'll never forget their own town and its secrets. The older a place grows, the more mysteries it keeps locked away. One of the girls leaps into a disordered blur of light cast by an old street lamp.
Ain't gonna catch me.
Eva wipes shadowy webs off her cardigan. Gossamer threads only she can perceive. She glances at the overgrown bushes, which have long since forgone their tender care and gardening shears.
No chow time tonight, besties.
The other girl scoffs at her. Friends, silly jesters.
If Brian was as agile as you, we wouldn't have been stuck in school after dark. The chemistry room's never been so tidy.
She wriggles her fingers to demonstrate her palms red and wrinkled from the hot water.
It's not my fault Mrs. Hopstone didn't save enough teeth to avoid spitting and lisping. Besides, she should have explained it better. The bottle must have been left open.
Actually, she explained just fine, but you still put 3 chlorine tablets in the rubbing alcohol instead of 1. Surprise, surprise, the reaction was extreme.
Yeah, that bang was something else. My left ear's still ringing.
Eva stops hovering in a faint hollow of light and nods. She's never been reprimanded at school before today. Sure, she would have been way more upset if it hadn't been Brian's fault, but still. It's just another adventure, something her and her friends will laugh about one day, and a happy memory is worth more than any reprimand, especially when her parents will probably forget it by tomorrow.
Alright, alright.
That's it! That's it! He raises his hands apologetically. Whew.
Next time we team up, I won't let you down. I'll put in 2 chlorine tablets.
The group passes a row of houses, as similar to one another as is ever possible in a suburb. Yeah, actually quite crazy. The time-worn house windows glow faintly in sepia tones, as though the light itself has aged and can no longer disperse the deepening darkness. The buildings they pass seem to be contending for the greatest neglect. Every other resident would be considered an eccentric in another town. For instance, Grey Bone has leaned on the rusty mower on his front stoop instead of a cane for 2 decades. The abandoned duplex across the road still bears the scars of a long-forgotten fire. Its windows are boarded up. Even during the day, it has a miserable look. The teens keep their distance.
Oh, Miss Harvitz's house.
It's a bunch of cats. One of them's so cute. Look at it. Look at it. The gloomy old lady had knitted yet another pear-shaped cat and proudly displayed it on our terrace, thus expanding her ugly army.
Right, you had a cup of tea together. Did baby Tony apologize?
Once Eva's brother had flinched, one of the cats had taken it home. Neither of their parents had called any attention to it, so she'd had to explain herself that taking other people's belongings without permission was wrong.
No, I was the one to apologize. Miss Harvitz didn't say a word. She only gave us a cold stare and sniffed loudly. She scared poor Tony so much that he couldn't fall asleep for half a night.
You have such a giving heart when it comes to your brother. You might be raising a hell of a night. Why in the world would he want to snatch a cat, though?
He was just a little kid. He came, he saw, he took it home.
There's no need to tell her friends that Tony had intended to give Eva the cat. He knew she wanted a pet more than anything in the world. He thought he could cheer her up with at least a toy one. He'd never taken anything that didn't belong to him before. Not out of fear of getting caught or punished. He simply found stealing shameful. Tony would sooner give away his breakfast than steal something from someone weaker than him. Weaker? No doubt that kind of attitude will make school harder for him. Such is his nature. Contemplating her brother's heart of gold, Eva smiles softly. They pass by Mrs. Harvitz's terrace, curiously eyeing the odd dolls. Twilight makes the cat's silhouettes look eerie. Their pearl-button eyes glimmer in the fading light as if they know secrets that have been buried too long.
If I go crazy one day, I'm gonna definitely buy a nice crib close to the park. The neighbors here match me perfectly.
Yeah, I can't stand this street. It's like it's lost in time and space. How about we head through the square?
No one protests, so she leads them onward, sweeping into the nearest alley. A gust of wind bursts through the narrow walkway, permeating the air with the stench of a raw wooden plank and rotting garbage. The houses in the alley look like they've been copied and pasted. They were likely been built at the same time to house factory workers. The only thing that differs is the light in the windows, on or off, making it clear whose shift it is tonight. 2 Christmases before Brian got beaten up here, some high school students apparently didn't appreciate his sharp tongue. They'd shove him into a snowbank and pack snow under his sweater, but the most humiliating part was a neighbor kicking them all out. She came out onto the doorstep with one of Brian's classmates, a cute but overly chatty girl. By the very next day, the whole school had heard the story about him shaking snow out of his pants and whimpering like a puppy. He would have preferred being rolled into a giant snowman and left there like that till spring. Brian adjusts the backpack full of baseball equipment, which has crawled down his shoulder, and walks up to Ashley.
I'm so fed up with this stupid school. All these teachers, homework, tests.
But the year just started.
That only makes me want to study even less. There's nothing worse than coming back to school after summer.
I get why he gets beaten up. He jumps over a puddle and takes Ashley's hand.
It's like wearing old trainers you've already grown out of. Can't wait for college. When I start working, I'll buy real catcher's gear. Or at least a better glove.
His palm still hurts from Friday's practice session. The equipment the equipment donated to their team left much to be desired.
Better buy a slugger straight away. It'll pay off much sooner. Best case scenario, you can be a bouncer at a bar.
Ashley laughed at his childishness. Brian doesn't get the complexity of the world at all.
Dad says a good job like his is hard to find without higher education.
Ashley grabs her Leo Zodiac pendant. It's a nervous habit, something she does whenever she says something important. It calms her. Not Zodiac signs.
College is just another place to study.
This world's too cruel. Illness, starvation, school.
So deep.
I like school though.
Michael tries to squeeze into the conversation. All along, he's been trailing behind the others, glancing suspiciously at park pickups as if they might bite. He hasn't kept up with his friends since he noticed two silhouettes in an old Ford. One female, one male. The mutilated faces stare back at him. He could have sworn he'd heard a hoarse, gurgling whisper. Their gargled words sank into his skin like windshield fragments, making his chest constrict like his ribs were breaking. Every breath pained him like his lungs were pooling with blood. Then a light had flashed over one of the doorsteps, dispersing the blackness. What the fuck is happening? Suddenly both seats were empty again, and a strange vision turned into nothing but a local flour mill uniform hanging from a grab handle. Bro, you might have schizophrenia, my friend. Michael wipes the sweat off his forehead and listens carefully to his friends.
Of course. I'd love school too if I had your scores, Mikey.
Exactly.
Agreeing, Brian quickly squeezes Ashley's hand.
Maybe I should wear glasses too. Sounds like homework doesn't look so boring through them.
What? They walk by Murdoch's front garden and onto a street flooded with pink and blue neon store
You'd
signs.
better stop complaining. We only have 3 years of school left. Just imagine. Life's gonna be completely different afterward.
To Eva, the idea of moving away feels like teleporting to an unfamiliar planet. So many new people, places, and interesting stories. She hasn't even fully explored Riverwood yet. And in her mind, the town's old houses and old residents still harbor so many secrets, enigmatic and dark. In comparison, some unknown huge city like a bottomless well, impossible to fully drain even if you had 100 years. In a future like that, it would be hard to make time for anything from the past, but she doesn't plan to forget her loved ones forever.
If friendship's real, distance means nothing. My dad calls his friends from other states every single day.
She's tempted to add that they mainly have business conversation and argue often, but they don't need to know that. In her mind, her parents are role models everyone should strive to imitate, not just her and her brother. There isn't a single family in the entire town happier or more close-knit than Ashley's, and that's nothing but the truth.
Well, a couple of cornfields and state borders ain't enough to break you up.
What the hell do Ashley's dad, your love, and cornfields have in common? Look around.
Eva stops and points towards the house swaying in the darkness.
Is there anything really happening up here? Crunk Jim driving his tractor into a ravine was practically the only breaking news here in 6 months.
Well, adulthood is a real challenge. People grow up, then they start to feel sorry that time flew by so fast, and they want to experience school life again.
She pauses, searching for the right words. Quoting someone else is one thing, but will she soon forget those bygone days herself? After all, Eva already recalls her childhood with nostalgic warmth. Back then, every little thing felt like it was brimming with wonder. Now a doll is no longer a sorceress princess, or a traveler from a faraway world. A toy soldier is just a piece of plastic, and a blanket no longer serves as a battlefield for alien creatures. Making stories up for others is simple. But how are you supposed to fix yourself? Maybe the older you get, the duller and more colorless the world becomes.
It's like going back to a fairy tale you weren't grateful enough for earlier.
They're just nice words, nothing more. Bring adults back to the textbooks, and they'll howl all day. I don't remember any fairy tales where the characters were forced to read Walt Whitman's poetry. What about you, Michael?
Me neither.
The friends stroll from one store to the next, looking at flickering signs up close. They no longer seem bright and cheerful. They look rather ramshackle and out of the place in the dilapidated suburbs.
Let's go home, okay? Dad's on a shift today, but if he comes back to grab a bite to eat and I ain't there...
Brian scratches his neck and sticks out his tongue. Ashley laughs and punches him in the shoulder. Michael, trailing behind, everyone suddenly stops and looks at the only sign that still sparkles as brightly as cheerful as the day it has hung.
The arcade's open! I doubt there's anyone there this late. We can play S-Fighter.
Street Fighter, usually calm and quiet, he now blossoms behind his thick glasses. His eyes shine with passion.
Totally. No stupid helpers, suckers, or high school jerks.
The boys lean against the dusty window, as happy as if they were meeting their idols. The girls only snort in irritation.
What? Suddenly you're not gonna run back to your crib to avoid Daddy's shellacking?
I'll risk it. There's always a chance Dad'll kick you in the head. But the chance to throw Hadoukens and not wait in a frickin' line for the game, now that's rare.
It takes so little to make them happy, doesn't it?
Ashley glances at her friend.
Let him play. By the way, did you hear about the arcade machine that appears in the hall by itself?
Ashley rolls her eyes. Eva's fantasies are in reality have little in common. Her friends refuse to grow up. In her world, even a tattered old shoe might open its jaws and spin some ridiculous yarn. And that's exactly why Ashley adores Eva. She's so incredibly different from Ashley's overly rational parents, and from Ashley too. With her, getting bored is an impossible mission. Even if they were both locked in an empty basement, Eva would still manage to discover something fascinating there. She'd pull Ashley in and get her into trouble again. They'd giggle about it later. But Eva doesn't need to know that. It isn't like anyone can stop her anyway.
You start playing and can't stop. The game never ends. It's impossible. But you try over and over again.
This guy creeps me out.
Eating or even going to the bathroom. Over and over again. Not thinking of your parents and friends. Over and over again until
you run out of your allowance, can't afford breakfast, and stay hangry for the rest of the week because you're dumb.
That's true. Michael peels away from the glass and adjusts his lopsided glasses.
Well, that doesn't sound so scary if you got no allowance to begin with. Want to go in or what?
gosh, they're looking at us like dogs staring at a steak.
Ashley waves her hand authoritatively.
It's creepy to go home when it's so dark out. But if you win 100 tickets, me and Eva are gonna pick a prize.
Okay. Spacious room is somehow stuffy, permeated with the stench of hot plastics unsuccessfully covered by pungent berry air fresheners.
Smells like wasted time.
Oh, shut up.
As if. The shack smells nothing like school.
The clamor of screensavers and demo walkthroughs melds into a terrible cacophony. No wonder the zone-out cashier is shielding himself from it with a set of greasy cushion headphones. The walls are plastered with posters, promotional flyers, and all sorts of paper trash. However, one ad stands out. If you beat a record, you can win tickets and exchange them for prizes. Such generosity was easily explained. With the start of the school year, kids have a bit more cash in their pockets than usual. There's no one inside except the cashier, yet the floor is peppered with trash, from crumbled soda cans to chocolate bar wrappers. The arcade closes in 30 minutes. Local kids can only hang out here at this hour in the summer. The hall is packed with all sorts of arcade machines, each game name glowing invitingly. Clips of character deliberately failing to be different levels flash on the screen over and over. The boy starts searching for the most interesting game. What's that? Yeah.
It's over here.
Temporary out of order. It hasn't yet been wrecked the way some of its time-worn neighbors have. Even so, the buttons and plastic casing bear scuffs, cracks, and grubby marks left the countless kids' hands. Worst of all, instead of some thrilling music, the machine is emitting only a hoary wheeze, like an old man struggling to clear his throat, and instead pushing a death rattle out of his rusty lung. What the fuck? A piece of cardboard is a blood-curdling inscription is stuck in the screen. Temporary out of order,
God,
yeah.
Where is your justice?
Who's the god of computer nerds? The monkey holding the barrel?
Brian grumbles something in response, and Michael just shrugs.
A technician's coming, but not till at least next Tuesday. So y'all need to choose some other game. Try Road Blasters. It's the freshest here.
The cashier points to the brand new arcade game displaying a car blowing up and drowning in a fiery pixelated cloud.
Dang it!
He seldom lets himself betray such emotion, but Brian has his
What
back.
else have you got, other than cars?
All that and a bag of chips. If you're ranking the top 5 of Pumpkin Man, I'll give you a double prize.
He nods toward the counter.
No one really plays this trash. We've got a real shot at setting a record.
The gray cat lounging on a chair next to another machine captures the girl's attention, and letters shine on her pink collar. Lucy.
So sweet.
I bet you $5 she doesn't remember how clean hands with no cheese ball dust on them feel.
She kinda looks like the cat Mom was trying to paint last month.
Let me guess. The cat in the painting had mandibles and a pair of tentacles.
I wish. She was just in the background. Mom paints people. You know how it is.
Ashley knows. She wishes she didn't, though. Those paintings are why she prefers inviting Eva over rather than visiting her. Well, one of the reasons anyway. They'd had a slumber party at Eva's place twice. Both nights, Ashley had been plagued by nightmares. The root cause was a few masterpieces Eva's mom considered her favorites. Compared to those monstrosities, plain old horror movies were practically bright, cheery cartoons. Ah, Pac-Man. Sears their eyes with poisonous shades as a bunch of green blots chase the ferocious pumpkin.
What you think? Are these ghosts?
Here's a hunter shooting the pumpkin with a shotgun.
They're restless hunter souls then.
Awesome. Let him catch the pumpkin. Then everyone's happy. The hunters are safe in their graves, and we're home.
Back home? With no prize. I ain't leaving until we empty out the prize counter.
You know, these here I will not read because this is literally just saying the obvious. Just saying.
We close in half an hour.
Then he's gonna have 15 minutes left over to cry over his empty counter.
Just so you know, I'm all for Pac-Man, so let's get into this, huh?
Wrong way! To the left!
Oh no.
To the left! Wrong way!
Ah, they're so fast!
To the left! Wrong way! You got him! We'll beat the
Oh, come on.
Well, I guess we gotta be luckier next.
I'd rather read my history book than play this flickering trash can.
At a moment, Brian would gladly take a drag. He feels like giving a treasure machine a good
You
thump.
won this time, you dirty piece of iron.
I'm very bad at Pac-Man. If he catches
Look
them.
what I found. Someone hung them on the toilet paper holder.
Her cheeks flush with embarrassment as she holds out the strips of 8 winning tickets.
How's it going?
The same as your arcane machine's repairs.
I would kind of like this Slinky, actually.
And what is this?
No idea. Someone must have left it here. Y'all can just take it since you spent all your cheddar on Pumpkin Man anyway. Maybe it's a movie or something.
But what if the owner comes for it?
It's already been here all week. Doubt nobody needs it. Besides, visitors forget stuff here all the time. Y'all want to see my cap collection?
No thanks.
Just give it to the next poor sucker who dares punishes himself with that crappy pumpkin game. Tell him he's not alone in this world.
No longer displays, Lucy switches her tail excitedly and gazes affectionately at the teenagers. You'd never guess she looked like a bristling hedgehog just half an hour ago.
Silly cat. It's me and Mike who deserve some compassion after what that game did to us.
Never mind. We got much more than expected.
And what would that be?
A secret.
I guess it is, yeah. Only a few pickups, only locked bicycles and still around. All parked by Marshall Sue's bar. The wind sweeps over the fields, the element that usually toys with the harvested corn. Now moans forlornly, plunging the suburb into melancholy. Winter will change everything. Stores and bars will be strung with sparkling beads of... Okay.
Well, we're late. Granny and Grandpa will be upset.
If that's the worst that'll happen, then you may as well stay out a little later. What you think? Is there anything on it?
It looks like a personal archive of a maniac who killed a lot of people and recorded their achievements for their descendants to watch. A comfy basement, hooks, candles.
Or an auto shop with a buzzsaw and a big meat freezer.
I just gotta say, most of the stuff they write down there is like completely useless. I don't like that, but I do like the story so far. I just wish they didn't have so much useless phrases. Like everything that's not said by the characters seems like they were talking about her holding the VHS. Like, yeah, I can see that. The friends pass through the square towards a scattering of newer houses. This area doesn't have as much junk lying around as the park does. The residents here are relatively wealthy. But look at that. Eva's father once mentioned that most of his customers lived around here. They always need new furniture, doors, sturdy boards for fresh construction. Nothing bad can happen in a place like that. Well, horror movies have convinced Eva otherwise. Quiet, affluent neighborhoods are exactly where the creepiest things happen. Nobody expects them there, so prey can be easily captured, warm and unaware.
What if the cassette is cursed?
Please. I bet it's that freak cashier's home video. He's probably posing in a French maid costume.
They reach Ashley's driveway. It boasts a large yard. The suburb is in no hurry to accept them, but over time it will wrap them in.
Ash, you have an old VHS player in your shed, don't you?
Yeah, but I should have gotten rid of it after you'd bought that creepy Italian movie about ballerinas.
Eva keeps touching her bag as if making sure the consolation prize is still safe. Watching horror movies with friends was a special kind of thrill.
How about it? Wanna watch? I ain't gonna sleep till I know what's on it.
The boys don't mind. They're eager to shake off the sting of defeat in the arcade center so badly that they prefer getting in trouble all over again for coming home late. As far as the friends are concerned, Ashley's shed is the best and coziest place in the whole suburb. They spent most of their evening there in the winter and when there's nowhere else to hang out and a high risk of being targeted by the high schooler snowballs. There's plenty of space for board games and fooling around. They can be as loud as they like, and Ashley can always bring them snacks or soda from home. Her father originally planned to turn the place into a man cave, complete with a couch and a big TV, but he's been overwhelmed with work lately, so most of the time the friends are free to use the shed. But that day, they aren't alone. Chris, Ashley's older brother, is already inside, lying on a shabby carpet.
It's just you suckers. I thought Daddy showed up and was about to teach me how to live again. What you doing up here? Baby Ashley decided to show you our true family treasures?
Atari, punching bag, scarecrow, antique mirror.
Don't you have to stay in your room and feign remorse?
And what about you? Shouldn't you be catching Z's, not wandering around in the dark? Or you want to see who can disappoint our parents the most?
No. Unlike you, I care about my future. We just want to watch a cassette. Why don't you just go do something else for a bit? We need the TV.
As if. Get out of here, kids.
Persuade. Let's try to persuade him.
Don't be so pig-headed. We'll only take like 5 minutes.
We have a secret cassette. The arcade center cashier gave it to us. No one knows what's on the tape, but I'm willing to bet it's not just silly cartoon.
Oh, huh?
Alright, here's your hourglass then.
Cool.
When I reach the filter, you stop wasting my precious time and piss off out of here. Yeah, and one more thing. If it's a movie for, adults, I'll take it.
Can't blame him.
Oh yeah? To throw it away and preserve our innocence, huh?
Of course not. To give to Sam and Bobby.
Sam and Bobby are real douchebags.
Move your ass, Four Eyes. Turn the damn cassette on.
Come on, bro. He's not even the one to put it in.
And now for the interesting part.
Eva is worried her friend might turn off the player at any time and head home, and she'll be left guessing what was on the tape. With all his might, Chris is already acting bored. To him, the fact that these kids have been scammed is clear as day.
You got a blank tape? No surprise there. Sam would catch that cashier and give him a proper talking to.
It can't be blank. Hurry up and take your seats. We don't want to miss anything.
He's actually still there.
Is there any other light in here?
Next time, we'll hang an entire chandelier out here, just for you.
Fucking pussy. Oh, something's taking shape. Oh shit. The black and gray static stripes morph into an image, taking on colors and shapes. One part becomes studio walls, another area changes into decorated sets of Friday night show. The rest turns into the body of a game show host wearing a striped suit jacket.
They better fire that god-awful costume designer.
The host is half turned and staring at the camera as if waiting for a director's signal to start or trying to see the audience on the other side of the screen. Creepy ass music. Come on.
They should kick the musicians out of there too. What is this? Their first time playing instruments?
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome, my sweet and miserable guests, to the most unique, funniest.
The angle abruptly changes and the studio suddenly looks less bright and cheerful. The walls have lost their false gloss and bright hues. Half the spotlight go out, and those that remain are only dim. Is that blood? But the host
To the
keeps
most
smiling.
unique, funniest, and scariest show on TV. I bet my hand that this is something you've never seen before and will never see again. Sadly, I've got nothing left to bet. I ate my hand before the show.
Somewhere in the background, canned laughter and applause ring out. The teenagers can certainly believe the host really did devour his hand before. What? His behavior is odd, his speech is too dramatic, he keeps breaking into screams, choking on his cackling. Somehow he manages to act both insanely cheerful and inappropriately gloomy at the same time.
Bullshit. What a waste of time.
No, wait, let's just watch a little longer. I've never heard of this show. How about we give it a chance?
So come on, take a seat, the broken and prideful. The reserved and those embracing everything new. The brave, cowardly, dependent, and free. Get comfortable. Enjoy yourself.
The end. That's enough for today.
I'll fast forward it a little. What if there's something else here?
Slow down, Fury. The button's jam. I'll do it.
Chris turns around and opens his mouth as if to ask something but bumps directly into an astonished Eva.
How's he doing it?
Doing what?
Runs to the TV and stares deep into the black and white chaos. Well, Act 5, back to the drawing board. Literally just talking about the tree. Literally still talking about the tree. Everything looks as usual there. The table and the shelves are perfectly arranged, the bed carefully made. Even the posters are still hanging in a straight line as if it was an art exhibit. Eva loves it when everything is in place. Whenever her mother is overwhelmed at work, Eva and her father are left responsible for cleaning the house. And the less you litter, the less you have to clean. The Book of Wild Things. Family photograph. VHS collection. A feather? That's not... Oh, the feather is in the box. And a flower.
Tony?
God damn, look at the... I thought the foot was here and here. His long sleeve shirt with a pink dinosaur was Dad's gift for him for last Christmas. Tony takes it off at bedtime and for the laundry.
I fixed her thread. String telephone. Here. Yesterday I could barely hear anything.
Eva takes the cup and puts it on her
It's
nightstand.
time to go to bed, baby. When you're all set, pull the string twice and I'll read some bedtime stories for you.
That's a boy? Sounds like a woman, a little girl.
Can you hear me, Tony?
Loud and clear. I fell asleep today. By myself. Well, I almost did. But then a huge storm hit. Thunder. And something creaked in the closet, so well...
Get her.
Then
They're just
close your
yapping about the
eyes
same
and
shit,
listen.
bro.
I made up a new story.
They really need to have less filler. This is really frustrating. We're surrounded by routine. She wants to calm Tony down the way she's used to wish her father sweet dreams, to leave a croissant for her mother in the kitchen.
What's the story about? Is it scary? I don't really want to hear a scary story today.
No, it's a legend about a magical arcade machine that teleports brave and obedient kids into its world of adventures.
It must be dangerous there. There are lots of monsters in games.
It's an adventure.
Sounds like a woman.
It wouldn't be an adventure without monsters.
Her mother enters the room, tired, disheveled, and soaked in the odor of solvent, paints, and coffee. Perhaps she's worked too long again and remembered that she missed dinner only after her dizziness and lower back pain reared up. She always complains about that to
Didn't hear
Eva's
you
father.
come home. Why are you up so late? Chatting with Tony again? He needs to learn to fall asleep on his own. Tell him to brush his teeth and go to bed right now. At least that will put these toys to good use.
Of course, Mom. Tony's almost asleep. Oh, today was so long, but cool. We cleaned up the chemistry room, then we went to the arcade center, and then I came back home. You know what? You're right. Tony ought to fall asleep without my chatter tonight. Good night, Mom.
What a fun
Good
mom.
night, darling. I think I'm gonna have a cup of milk and go to bed too.
Mom going to bed? No, not her.
We'll go back to the workshop soon. She won't fall asleep until dawn, completely exhausted next to her easel.
Tony, go to bed. Mom just came and scolded us for chatting.
You promised me a story about an arcade machine.
Go to bed, little one. I'll come up with 2 adventures for you tomorrow.
Okay.
Sweet dreams. But what was next?
There's a blank space in her memory between the arcade center and coming back home. Fragments, phrases, merry beeping music, a flickering light, and clouding it all, black and white haze.
Tony, you're still awake?
Well, why was that shriek next to her baby brother? She doubts Tony took the timer to his room. Eva hurries to his room to check on him. The bed is empty. Eva throws up her hands. Tony rarely leaves his room at night. He always leaves a cup of water or milk on his nightstand before bed. There's only one other place where Tony and her mom's alarm clock could be at the same time.
What a silly boy. Why did you go to the workshop? He should know better. He'll have bad dreams if he looks at Mom's paintings.
They could influence even an adult's mind so terribly that there's always a nurse on standby at her exhibitions. The thought of that Tony might see there horrifies Eva. If her brother sees those paintings, she'll be up all night distracting him from anxious thoughts.
Tony, what's up with the radio silence?
Not a single sound comes from the other side of the toy phone. Only now does she notice that the string leads towards the attic entryway. Eva timidly passes her parents' bedroom and hesitates by their stairs. Even there, a few of her mom's paintings unpleasant to look at. That would be pretty creepy to stay in, yeah. Their father has been planning to take them down or move them somewhere else, but doesn't want to upset his wife. Eva presses a cup to her lips and whispers,
Tony, go downstairs while Mom's in the kitchen. Alright, I'm coming up, but if Mom catches us both, I'll get in trouble first, and I'll have every right to be mad at you, Tony. Who knows? Maybe you won't be getting an ice cream this weekend.
what the fuck kind of light is that? Keep out, nosy? No, it says the nosy keep out. The three-headed dog from Greek. I know what that is. Eva painted that hellhound 2 years ago. Her mother was delighted that her daughter liked painting too, but it was Eva's last drawing? Oh my god. The door opens with ease. Taking a breath, Eva heads deeper into the workshop. Somebody that paints like this definitely has trauma.
Perfect timing. Why
seriously.
in the world did he go to the workshop this late?
You don't question the fact that the fucking string is like longer than, I don't know, the whole house together? Holy shit. What the fuck is that? Bro, your mom needs some therapy. Holy shit. With a stupid cry of boo from around the
Tony
corner.
must have hidden behind some old canvases or the curtain. There's nowhere else to hide in here, so finding him will be a piece of cake. Damn it!
Overcoming her unease, Eva realizes she's angry at Tony, at Dad, at Mom, the house, that wretched workplace where you can't even take a single step without tripping over some nightmare. Broken woman who lost her baby at childbirth. Yeah, that's so horrible. What the fuck? Unfinished work of a happy woman carrying a puppy wrapped in sheets. Old fisherman, it's a silhouette of an old man on a pier.
Tony, you better come out. This isn't funny. Both of us are gonna be punished if Mom...
That's better. Now to see where it leads.
Eva slowly paces through the workshop, feeling the pervasive blackness on her skin. Nameless, unfinished, and spoiled paintings stare at her from the corners. Somehow the disfigured faces are visible even in the gloom. Seeing all those flickering silhouettes creeps Eva out. For a split second, a flash of lightning illuminates the room. He's in the painting? A bitter, biting wind blows from the bottomless canvas. The painting absorbs the light cast from the window. Eva stares in horror at her hands and ill-fated strings cuts into it. For a second, she's tempted to get rid of it, to chop it off with a knife, but what if Tony's on the other end? She dares not approach the painting, doubts bombard her as the sticky fear muddles her mind. Fuck it, stay. Eva gently pulls at the cup. Once she promised to protect Tony from a danger, real or imaginary, and until tonight, she's never broken that vow. The baby reviving in joy, bright as if the fairy tale. Playing together among loose snowdrifts magically driven in on Christmas Eve. He whimpers, but Eva picks up and carries him on her shoulders. And now amid the nightmare that's desecrated their home. In return, she swears that she'll give him 100 slinkies, or every color of the rainbow, mountains of lollipops, clouds of cotton candy, which Mom forbids him from eating, anything to keep Tony's fingers tight. Groaning, Eva yanks on the string. The painting replies with another gusty, icy wind. What, this blood? She puts everything into it, her desperate love and fury. Sweat pours her face, freezes on her cheek. Don't look. Turn away. Go away. And Eva doesn't listen to her inner voice. Slowly, as if it's stuck in resin, she wades through the congealed air towards the painting in the gilded frame. The string in her fingers turn into sticky, vicious, soaked in a glossy liquid. Pull. Wails and begs her to turn away and run, to shield herself from the door, but she just can't. What? Is her brother dead? The toy phone string hangs down, hooked onto the crevice of his vertebrae. It looks like someone has ripped the head off his body as easily as tearing the cap off of a ballpoint pen. Tony's eyes are as cloudy and empty as a fish. It's unimaginable, cruel, unfair. No world can be so brutal as to let something like this happen. She sways, feeling neither the cold nor the droplets drizzling out from the painting in the gilded frame.
It's hypnosis, hallucinations, blood, witchcraft, thorium, intent.
That would be pretty traumatizing. They would rapturously stare at Eva's lips, contorted with grief. Her eyes were met with tears. They would admire her expression, warped with torment and tension so great that she felt like Rary. The horror that thought evokes is sobering.
I can't just sit back and wait for another terrible thing to happen so that I won't be able to change or forget it. I have to get away. Run. Save myself and our parents.
All the cops? Many of the heroes that inspire Eva so much had tough challenges. It always seems impossible to defeat hordes. But if you don't retreat or give up, if you make progress towards your goal, no one can. A flash of lightning floods the room, followed by a shuddering thunderclap. Reality is a lot different from fictional stories. The paintings come to life. Okay. Just leave, bro.
My little boy.
It drops and slowly crimson gray, a little white, green, and buckets of red. Eva steps back. She knows exactly who will be in this painting.
Don't you dare. Whoever you are, don't you dare.
But the invisible artist is unstoppable. It relishes its power. For them, Eva and her unlucky brother's lives are more worthless than oil paint. He will finish, wipe them, brush clean, and forget all about the miserable siblings. That's a creepy looking motherfucker. Can I not leave? Slay, their cry should wake not only our parents but their neighbors as well. Push down the handle.
Dad! Daddy! Help me, Dad! Dad's sleeping too deep. Otherwise, he'd definitely hear me. Mom must be in the kitchen. Otherwise, I would have already run into her here or in the workshop. I'll have to wake her up first. And then together we can...
Fucking run, bitch. The pain of falling is the least of her concerns, just like she did after watching horror movies or creepy cartoons. Having her father would build a cozy pillow for her where she could hide from any ghosts or critters. Dad was always there for them. So their dad would always do whatever the fuck he wants.
He'll protect me. He'll fight them off.
Yeah, go see your dad.
He must be somewhere here. Dad? Where are you?
As a kid, I was slightly interested in art. Come on, bro. What the fuck? Attempt to escape captivity. Oh, he's gone. Now the aristocrat face shine with delight. Well, your dad's dead. On a table, nausea seared and shrouded in baked crust. The man and the family and knives and gear clutching at exquisite. The air is awash with the sickening odor of paint, solvent, barbecue. Eva grimaces in terror. She wants to howl, groan, call for help, but she can only spit out unintelligible sounds like a sheep.
What kind of soul does she really have? If Mom wants to live in a world of madness and cruelty, there's no saving her. You chose the company of your paintings. You love them harder than your own kids. So stay with them. Forever. To the front door. Now!
They were not on the dressing room shelves, the phone table, or under the rug.
It won't budge! No, no! Am I never gonna get out of here?
That's not how a door works. Jump through a fucking window. The last year, after Eva was ranked amongst the top 5 students in her class, instead of giving her a gift, her father cut out this pet door. A hint that
I
soon...
can squeeze through. Tony always gets in and out easily when he's pretending to be a dog. If he can do it, I can too.
Come on!
Yes! Now.
Ew. Just formless darkness before her eyes, the darkness splinters into pieces. Jealous's fat body trembles in darkness. It's hard to guess what the creature used to be. Now it's hideously swollen. Like a toad, the bottomless mouth spills out a tongue which coils around Eva's wrist. Letting out a strange sob, Eva tries to free her hand, but the tongue won't let it go. It bites into her skin, sucking on it with a horrible gnawing sound. The fat monster shudders and drools lustfully.
Get your hands off me, fiend!
Fiend! Three, two, one. What do I do? Oh, I have to press. What? Wait, so she's dead? If ever I replay this game, I will replay this part. To be continued. You killed Eva. I don't know how to feel about this game. I really don't know how to feel. I think I thought there's way too much explaining. Way too much explaining. The story could be so good, but it feels like they feel the need to explain to us every little tiny detail. She's looking to the left. It'll tell you. She's now looking to the left. She's looking at a painting. She'll say, oh, she's looking at a painting with a woman in it. Yeah. You're showing us that in the art. But, apart from that, the game's really good. Without further ado, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment if you have anything to say or want me to play a specific game. I'll see you into the next one.